we hear about people and corporations who are moving out of California. It reminds me of a saying I heard once, that a person who considers only the price of any product is the natural prey of the company who makes faulty, cheap products. That only makes sense. That you get, by and large, what you pay for. Right now, for example, Elon Musk has moved from California to Tulsa. And many companies, there are many people not. Facebook, Google are not moving from California. Apple is staying in California. Amazon is staying on the West Coast. They have no plans on moving their corporate headquarters. But Elon Musk did, and some other companies as well, moving off to Tulsa. Why? Taxes are cheap. State taxes are so much cheaper in the state of Texas. Well, I hope Mr. Musk enjoyed the house he's had this past week. This will date quickly, but over the past week we've had the snowstorms going across Texas and their power grid falling apart. Why? Because Texas didn't want their power production facilities to have to come up to snuff with federal regulations, and therefore they kept all of their power grid inside the state of Texas. They didn't allow any power to go out or any power to come in. If it crosses state lines, it has to be governed by federal standards. Therefore, all of their power production facilities were all set to provide power in nice, toasty, warm weather. But when the temperature goes down, 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 it just means electricity goes out. Without electricity, you can't run your gas furnace that used to heat your house. You can't keep water pressure in the houses. And so the pipes freeze and the water damage is terrible. Water causes terrible damage once the pipes burst in your house. Incompetent government kills people. This desire, and so that not only did California not have the power grid, not have the power production facilities to take care of a cold weather problem because their facilities shut down because they weren't meant to produce in very cold weather, but also they could not import electricity from other states because they wanted to do it on the cheap so that they could attract people to come to Texas and freeze their buns along with their families in the nice houses that they bought with water pouring everywhere out of the ceiling and into their bedrooms and living rooms. Now, if you're Elon Musk or Ted Cruz, you can head off to Cancun and get warm again. Turn off your water at the street. But not only does incompetent government kill, because Texas has known that they need to fix their power grid for decades. But It costs money to do that. And you get what you pay for. So you have cheap state taxes, therefore you have an insufficient power production and power grid throughout the state that doesn't have to conform to federal standards. Incompetent government kills people, and therefore we have people who are desperate in Texas, trying to heat their homes by leaving their ranges going on constantly, by trying to do anything they can think of to stay warm. And I can sit here in Ohio and go, oh, that's not a good idea to bring your grill into the house, and but I'm not the one freezing. When you have to stay warm and you have bad options because you have a government that says, look how cheap we can get it done. Look how cheap our state taxes are. And you have a government that says the way we'll do that is by having third-rate production, power production grid, and power production facilities. Then people are going to have bad options. People who live in difficult situations have difficult options. Poor people have poor options. And you can be as rich as you want to in Texas, but if the electricity is not there and the water is not there and you can't run your gas furnace, then you are reaping what you've sown. I've lived in California. It's a beautiful place to be. The services are there when you need them. And they're trying to make progressive steps. Elon Musk probably moved because some parts of California have a overcompensated executive tax, specifically for people like him who are making stupid amounts of money and are keeping it for themselves rather than plowing it back into new products, plowing it back into the people at the bottom of their company so that those people can have benefits, pay, strong pay, respect, and security. But you get what you pay for. So the people that have moved to Tulsa from California, now you see why California was so cheap. It's the same all over. You buy the cheap car, you don't find out. You think, man, look at all the money I saved. You don't find out until later that the car is useless in the worst kind of weather, that it is a lemon, that it is a danger to be on the road. All you think of at the beginning is, man, it was half price. How often do people do that? Well, that's what people do when they leave California and go to Texas as well. And I'm sure the same can be said for many states, but Texas is a huge example because they saved themselves all kinds of money on their power grid by keeping all of their power production in state and not having any ability to receive power from other states. And now they have to take in bottled water, and I suspect there are a lot of people trying to flush their toilets now with bottled water. You get what you pay for.